Welcome, my Wilberforce family and friends, to the first episode 1 of the Wilberforce Alums Podcast. Thank you for joining us, tuning in to this new venture for the Wilberforce University Alumni Association. We decided this year to try to do something a little different. So we're implementing a little bit more technology, if you will, in order to get the word across and the message to those who are not familiar with Wilberforce University and the Alumni Association. So that is the purpose of this podcast, is to promote Wilberforce University and the Alumni Association. Down here in my neck of the woods here in Memphis, there's a lot of students coming out of high school and parents, for that matter, who are not aware or familiar with where Wilberforce University truly is. So we want to use this as a mechanism to get the word out that Wilberforce University, located in Wilberforce, Ohio, just a few miles northeast of Xenia, Ohio, on the old State Route 42, that we're still here doing what we do, which is educating African American men and women for many, many years. As a matter of fact, we've been doing that here at Wilberforce University for more than 164 years, and we continue to do that very thing. But that's why we need the Alumni Association, for that matter, to keep hope alive so we can continue giving students across the country an opportunity to receive an education. And why not come to Wilberforce University here in Wilberforce, Ohio? Let me start by saying I'm James B. Stafford III, the new president of the Alumni Association, just sworn in as president in March of this year. A little history about me: I'm a 1973 graduate of Wilberforce University, coming to Wilberforce in 1970 after being discharged from the United States Army in 1970. As a matter of fact, let me say, put a footnote there: honorably discharged from the United States Army in 1970, and then continuing my education at Wilberforce University. Wilberforce University, the first private, historically black college in the nation, founded in 1856. You know, it was a joy to attend here. I have very fond memories of my life on campus at Wilberforce University, living right across from the Hill Gym at the Hudson House. Some of you may remember the Hudson House, not far from, well, up the road from Ma Beatty's restaurant, where I used to spend a lot of time early Saturday mornings after a late Friday night. Well, let me not go into that, getting breakfast sandwiches. But anyway, it's good to continue to talk about Wilberforce University. And before I go any further, let me give a shout out to Marvin Morrison, the past president of Wilberforce University Alumni Association. He's been my mentor. He got me involved in the association back in 2014 when I was trying to restart and recertify, actually, the Memphis chapter in Memphis, Tennessee. And from that point, he drafted me onto the board, encouraged me to serve on the board, and then I became his vice president when Marvin became the president of the Alumni Association. So let's give a shout out and a round of applause, if you will, for past president Marvin Morrison. Thank you, Marvin, for keeping this Alumni Association together and also keeping hope alive at Wilberforce University. Now, what does the Alumni Association do? Well, let me come back to that, because I want to go back to why we're going to do this podcast and what will be the format. The format will be in the area of interviews. So we would like to spotlight and profile the university's administration, president, of course, and the chairman of the university, Chairman Wilson, President Pinkert, Dr. Pinkert. We'd also like to introduce to you some of the members of the administration there. I'm sure you've heard names, but don't actually know who they are or have seen them. And also, one of the main functions is what I want to do is to feature alums, alums who have matriculated and graduated from Wilberforce University and are now doing great things in their communities across this country. And so we want to highlight those individuals. And what it also does too, if this works like I plan it to work, is that'll help to introduce the university as well as its alums and the successes of the alums to the wider community. And that's important because we need to be able to sell the story of the university to those who are not that familiar with us here at Wilberforce so that they can get familiar and also consider Wilberforce University as a place for where they would want to send their child to get a higher education. Now, before I go any further, let me mention one thing. Most of you know or are aware that the 2020 conference was to be in Memphis, Tennessee. And due to this coronavirus, this COVID-19, we made a decision to cancel the conference. And actually, we made the decision early so that we could get the word out before this issue with trying to cancel and receive deposits back, et cetera, from some of those areas that we're using as venues and vendors would become an issue. And so we canceled the conference early. The conference was going to be in Memphis, and the Memphis chapter was planning to really show you a good time at the City on the Bluff. You know, of course you know this. We're famous for barbecue. You know, and one of the favorite restaurants in Memphis for barbecue, my favorite at least, is Cozy Corner. And of course, we were all looking forward to welcoming you here in Memphis, Tennessee, to show you a great time rather, the City on the Bluff. Having said that, the guest or the host hotel was the Guest House at Graceland. And I want to make certain that all of you who are planning to attend have canceled your hotel reservations. You don't want to get stuck with having to pay that higher rate come June or July. And so I want to make sure and certain that you have canceled your hotel reservation. You can do that by calling area code 901-443-3000. That's 901-443-3000. Now, theoretically, the hotel should have canceled your hotel reservation when we canceled the conference, because all of that was under the contract block that we had set up initially. So your reservation should have been canceled, and you should have been notified of that. Just in case, check into it and make certain that your reservation was canceled. Okay, so what does the Alumni Association do? I mentioned our primary purpose is to support the university in its mission. We also recruit students through all of our 27 chapters across the country. And you know, just to let you know, those who are not that familiar, we have 27 chapters from Atlanta, Georgia, to Birmingham, to Buffalo, Charleston, South Carolina, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Ohio, Detroit, Greater Baltimore, Greater Charlotte, Greater Chicago, Greater New York, Greater North Carolina, Greene County, Ohio, Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Lorain County, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Metro Illinois, Missouri, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So for those of you who are not attached to a alumni chapter and live in one of those locations or close by, even, because you know, you can still be a member and participate. Most of these chapters meet once a month. And when we were working here and I was the president of the Memphis chapter, we had a member that traveled to Memphis from Nashville, Tennessee. So, you know, you can find a way to support Wilberforce University and its Alumni Association. You know, this year we the association funded the recreation equipment in our student center at the university to a tune of about $6,000, and maybe a little bit more, where we put in that student center equipment for the students to utilize during their free time: pool table, foosball table, flat screen TV that games can be played on. And so, that's what we look to do in our support for the university. In addition, this year we gave approximately I think it was $25,000, and that doesn't mean that's all that we're going to give by the end of the year, because we're in a fundraising campaign, which I'm going to talk about later. But also, those of you who had pre-registered to the conference in Memphis gave us the ability to send your pre-registration fees to the university in your name. In addition, we had a brick project that we also are in the process of funding the university as a result of those 33 bricks that we sold this past year, which will be installed around the fountain as soon as the ground thaws out around the fountain in Wilberforce, Ohio. So we look for opportunities to support the university, both financially and by recruiting students. And we also help to fund that recruiting of the recruiting materials as well. So that's why we need you, alums, become members of the Alumni Association. It's a very, very, very small fee, $50 a year to become a member. And, that may be weeks of Starbucks coffee or eating at, well, right now nobody's eating at their local or favorite restaurant, but because you're not, maybe that's some funds that you could allocate and send in the direction of the Alumni Association, remembering it's only $50 a year. And so that's what we do, and we need more help. Right now, our alumni base, as far as membership is roughly right around 800 members, which includes life members. So not only can you be a regular annual member, but you can also buy a life membership for $750, and you won't have to pay $50 again, or you can bump it up to a platinum membership for $250 more. So, which would make it right around $1,000 for a platinum membership. And we have quite a few of those platinum members. So give it some thought. If you're not a member, give it some thought. Wilberforce University, as well as the Alumni Association, needs you now. There's over 4,000 alums across this country. And there's only 800, basically, give or take, a few, that are members of the Alumni Association. And we're going to be focusing on that this year. One of my strategies is to increase our membership. Hopefully we can get it up to 1,500, 1,500 by the end of 2021, hopefully. We're going to be working towards that. And so what that would do is help us build our base as far as our alumni giving, as well as our membership to the association. This past Saturday, the university held a celebration for the 2020 graduates. It was a real nice affair with this COVID-19 still in our midst. You know that the university had to send the students home and had to cancel graduation on campus. So they honored them with a virtual graduation this past Saturday, and it was really fantastic to see. We later at the association, through the Director of Alumni Affairs, Ms. Jocelyn Neely, sent us pictures of those seniors who took pictures. And they were great pictures, outstanding pictures. Well, we got a great looking class of 2020 graduates coming out of Wilberforce University. Let me just say that. And the Alumni Association, through the vice president of the association, Dale Woods, is looking to set up a mechanism on our alumni website in which they will be featured and honored on our alumni website. And that alumni website, for those of you who don't know, is www.wilberforceuniversityalumni.com. That's www.wilberforceuniversityalumni.com. From time to time, if you are not connected to a chapter, or even if you are, you ought to just log on to that website just to see what's going on in the alumni chapter. And if you're not a member of the Alumni Association and you're still, thinking about becoming one, you can still log into that website and give us your contact information. That's one of the issues we're dealing with right now, is that we don't have contact information from all of the alums that have passed through the doors, some of which passed through Shorter Hall doors, Island Hall doors at Wilberforce University. And we need that. We need that because that's the only way we can stay in contact with you, and you can stay in contact with us outside of using social media, which we will be using as well. This podcast, when it airs and it's published on YouTube, will be published through all platforms of social media. So you'll be able to tune in that way as well. But if you're in the wavelength of my voice, go to that website for the Alumni Association, www.wilberforceuniversityalumni.com, and give us your current address, your current contact information. It's needed. Another thing that I've just been made aware of, too, is coming up on May the 16th, the Alumni Association is sponsoring what is being called a cultural expression, a night of cultural artistic expression, which should be an explosion too if we get a lot of people to tune in and watch what takes place. Saturday, May 16th, 2020, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the night of cultural artistic expression. It's being sponsored by the Wilberforce University Alumni Chapter, Greater North Carolina, and the Wilberforce University National Alumni Association. And if you go to our website, again, you can register to participate. Payments will be captured by Cash App as well as PayPal. And if you're an artist, if you do rap, spoken word, play an instrument, have a video of you playing an instrument, you can sign up for this event by going to that website. Sign-up cost, I believe, is about $10 to be a participant. And so current WU students, Wilberforce University students, can view it free. And if you invite guests, they can view it for $5. Payment is accepted through the Cash App and PayPal. So give that some thought. Go to our Alumni Association website. Look at the flyer, a night of cultural artistic expression, a virtual experience, Saturday, May 16th, 2020, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. It'll be a good look, and it'll be fun too, and entertaining. As a matter of fact, I may even participate in that virtual artistic expression. Now, one other thing too I'm aware of too, on Saturday, May 16th, there's a program called Show Me Your Walk, HBCU edition, and I think it's being hosted by our President Barack and Michelle Obama. It's going to view as a simulcast live on major TV networks and on social media. That is Saturday, May 16th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check your TV listings for Saturday, May 16th. So you can tune in to just sit back on Saturday the 16th, tune in at 2 o'clock for the Show Me Your Walk, where they will be featuring all historically Black colleges and universities. Wilberforce University will be participating in that, so you'll be able to see them and perhaps our president there as well, and other HBCUs across this country. And then when that ends, you can then tune in to be a spectator or a participant for the Night of Cultural Expression, hosted by the Greater North Carolina Alumni Chapter of Wilberforce University Alumni Association, as well as the association itself. Okay, so what else is going on? Fundraiser. Well, let's see. I've already mentioned the fact that the conference in Memphis has been canceled. And those of you who attend conferences know that every year at the conference, sponsored by the Wilberforce University Alumni Association, has a Greek roundup of the Divine Nine. And of course, since the conference is being canceled this year, the association decided that we don't want to forego having that Greek roundup. That is a fundraiser for the university. And it's a way to not only feature our Greek letter organizations on campus, but it's also a challenge between them to see which Greek letter organization can raise the most money. And they will be highlighted at the end of that roundup. It'll kick off probably within the next week or so, and will end June 30th. And we'll probably have a day party or some sort of acknowledgement of the winner in July, perhaps July 23rd. You'll be hearing more about this, those of you who are members of Greek letter organizations. It's going to be a challenge among you with all the other Greek letter organizations. And of course, I'm not going to make any predictions, but I'm not going to say anything for that matter at this point in time. So participate in that. Think about it. It's more information is going to be coming down the pike by the end of this week or early part of next week. And it's another way for the Alumni Association to organize and find other ways to help the university in its funding needs. Again, this podcast is the introduction of things to come. We will be interviewing alums, as I have already mentioned, members of the university administration, members of the Alumni Association, and some of the chairpersons of our standing committees. One in particular will be Jerry Quinn, who is the chairperson of our membership committee. I think you need to hear from him as to what his plans are to help increase the membership of the Alumni Association. We will also like for you to hear from Autumn Cass, who's the chairperson for our Young Alumni Committee. So you will hear from her to hear about things that their committee is trying to do to increase the membership of young alums, those graduating in not necessarily in 2020, because you're automatically a member when you graduate from the class of 2020, but those who came out in 2019 and earlier to become members of the Wilberforce University Alumni Association. We need you. We need young folk. We need your young ideas. We need young new ways of communicating with everyone of all ages. And so that's why we have this Young Alum Committee hosted by and chaired by Autumn Cass. So you will hear from her as one of our future podcast episodes down the road. But coming up next, probably within the next 2 weeks, and we will let you know when to tune in again to our next episode 2 of our Wilberforce Alum Podcast. And be sure when you tune in to the podcast, which will be on YouTube, that you hit the subscribe button. That way we can keep up with who's tuning in and how many folk are tuning in and who we can connect with on an ongoing basis relative to what's going on in the association as well as at the university. But coming up in episode 2, we will be interviewing Dr. Tiffany Munford Dent, class of 1996. We're going to talk to her about, how she got to where she is, her career, why she attended Wilberforce University, etc., and the things she's doing now as a psychologist. So look forward to that. Tune in again when we notify you that our next episode will be published on YouTube. Make sure you tune in and listen and enjoy what you hear. We're going to be hitting up a lot of these alums from across the country relative to the things that they're doing and the reasons they attended Wilberforce University, because we want to spread the word that you can become a success by attending the best HBCU in the nation, Wilberforce University in Wilberforce, Ohio. Well, that's it for this time around. I appreciate you for tuning in. It's been great talking with you. Please come back again when we announce our next episode, and be mindful that we're here because of Sol Marte. See you again.